Mia wants the world to know what she saw, what she lived through. But Mia is so scared of men right now because of what happened that she only feels comfortable speaking with women. She also did not want to go on camera. She did agree to speak with my partner, CNN producer Nora News. Nora, you were in with Mia and her mother. I want to make clear her mother was there the whole time. What did she tell you?
The 11-year-old Mia Sirio was in that 4th grade classroom that we've heard so much about with Miss Garcia and Miss Mireles. She said they were watching Lilo and Stitch because it was the end of the school year, they'd finished their lessons. And she said one of her teachers got an email that there was a shooter in the building and went to the door and he was right there. And they made eye contact.
The shooter made eye contact with
the teacher. And then he shot out and the window and in the door. And then Mia says it just happened all so fast, and he backed the teacher and into the classroom, and he made eye contact with the teacher again, looked her right in the eye, and said, "Good night," and then shot her and killed her.
He said good night before he shot her.
Good night. And then it happened pretty fast after that as well. He started open firing in the classroom. He hit the other teacher, a lot of Mia's friends. At that point, Mia was hit by fragments of the bullets. Of the bullets. You could even see them yesterday. I mean, on her back, on her shoulders, the back of her head.
The shooter then, she says, went into the adjoining classroom.
Yeah, so he went through this door to the adjoining classroom, and at that point, Mia could hear screams. She heard a lot more gunfire. And then she said she heard music. She thinks it was the gunman that put it on. He started blasting sad music. And I asked her, like, what was that? Like, what kind of music? What do you mean by that? And she just said, it sounded like I want people to die music.
This is music to be murdered by.
She said she heard music. She said it sounded like I want people to die music.
Music to be murdered by.
What did Mia do then?
So she had a friend next to her that she was pretty sure was already dead and was laying on the ground bleeding out. And she put her hands in her friend's blood and then smeared it, she said, all over her body. She wanted to look like she was dead. She was scared that the gunman was going to come back through that adjoining door back into the classroom, and she wanted to be able to play dead.
She also told you that she called 911.
Yeah.
That she felt like it all lasted for 3 hours.
Yeah, she was like, oh yeah, I was in there for 3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah, she was like, oh yeah, I was in there for 3 hours. And her mom said, well, sweetheart, I think it was closer to 1 hour, but I'm sure it felt that way.
And what did Mia think the police were doing during this time?
She said she thought the police just hadn't gotten there yet, that somehow they just weren't there yet. And she said, she'd been pretty stoic up until this point in the interview. And this was actually when she started getting emotional and started crying. She said, I heard the grown-ups later say the police were outside and that they weren't coming in. And she got emotional talking to me about this and said, why didn't they come in? Why didn't they save us? Why? The police were outside? Like, she just couldn't, it was clear in her 11-year-old brain, in my brain, why they wouldn't come in and help and save her.
So again, you spent some time with her and her mother. She's obviously just been through the worst thing, hopefully, that she'll ever go through in her entire life. How did she seem to you? How did she look to you?
Honestly, not great. She seems completely traumatized. Physically, she's mostly okay. She has these bullet fragments all over the back of her shoulders and her back. She and a friend went and were able to take the phone off of one of the teachers who had already been killed. And they called 911 and they were actually able to make contact with the dispatcher. And they talked to a dispatcher for a little while and told them what was going on inside. And Mia kept telling me that she kept saying, we're in trouble, like, please come, we're in trouble.
One of the interesting things you told me is that Mia said to you,
so after she smeared the blood all over her body and the back of her head, she said overnight a lot of her hair fell out in just kind of big clumps from where the bullet fragments had hit. So she's bummed about that. but just I mean, completely traumatized. And her parents are trying to get her some kind of therapy help. They'll probably have to drive her to San Antonio for that. And so they're actually starting a GoFundMe page to pay specifically for that therapy cost. She said she keeps seeing the bodies on the ground. And so that therapy is going to be really important. So that GoFundMe is on the screen.
I mean, she's been through so much. She saw her teacher killed, saw her friends before her eyes.
So after she smeared the blood all over her body, they were at a car wash yesterday and went to vacuum out her friend's blood, the car, kind of triggered by that. And her mom said, you know, that's been happening a lot. She's not sleeping right now in her friend's blood. She's, you know, the whole interview, she brought a blanket with her, and the whole interview, she just was like covering herself, her friend's blood, and it was hot, but it felt like she just was trying to keep herself covered. The blood all over her body. So after she...
And just to be clear, one last time, she really wanted...
Her friend's blood, smeared the blood all over her body.
She wanted to talk. I mean, she didn't want to talk to a man.
It completely set her off.
But she wanted to get her story out there. Why?
She kept saying that she wants to try to prevent this from this happening to other kids, that she thought that if she talked to someone, if she did an interview,
I heard
that maybe people would realize what it was really like to be in a school shooting, and that maybe something would change and other kids wouldn't get hurt. And I kept saying, you know, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do the school shooting. Like, this is up, you're in charge, this is your decision. But she kept saying, no, I really want to do this school shooting.
All right. Nora News, thank you for speaking with her. Thank you for telling us what she said. Please tell the family that we're thinking of them, and we appreciate them reaching out. So thank you. Right, a lot of new information there. We had not heard really the perspective of what it was like to be inside the classroom while it was happening. And frankly, it is just horrific.
Happy to see if that is the case. But in the meantime, I do want to introduce to you a woman that came in here from San Antonio. Her name is Beverly. She's joining me now. Beverly, why did you decide to come out to Uvalde?
Well, I came out today because it's a very emotional time. I just needed to be here.
And so much so that you took off work, you drove the hour and a half, 2 hours it takes to get here. What did you bring with you?
I just brought some things of nourishment, you know, water, chips, sandwiches. I know no one's like even thinking about eating, but we do need nourishment to keep our strength. So I just want to come down and give what I could give and be here. And I'm gonna be here. I'll be here today. It breaks my heart. And so I have my own organization, Mother Lost Child. And I have to be here. This is who I am. I have to show that you're not alone.
Right, and you being here is showing these people that they are not alone today. So we appreciate your perspective, and thanks so much for talking to us.
I want to make clear her mother was there. Her mother was there the whole time.
She said overnight a lot of her hair fell out in just kind of big clumps from where the bullet fragments had hit. It's clear in her 11-year-old brain. I mean, in my brain. Good night.
Did I hear that?